Coding University, training humans to train themselves. Welcome. This is the fourth day of our training with the flip books, and just want to talk to you about a couple of things here to start with. First of all, remember this is all a process, okay? A process, and we're going to be going through this. We're going to be adding structural books and a few other things that go along with it here. Out in the world training we've already talked about, and one of the things that I want for you to understand or get is that you're really not going to be coding for like 4 or 5 weeks or 4 or 5 weeks of this preparation to get you ready so that you can. As you get older, one of the things happens, you've probably seen older people, they're all hunched over. Okay, and the older they get, the more hunched they seem to be. And this is all just a matter of habit. It isn't as to do much more than anything, but once you get sort of in that habit, it's real hard to break, right? Okay. Well, my son is, it causes a lot of other problems with shoulder pain and lack of mobility, etc. So our son is definitely working on this. And there's three aspects to it. First of all, you've got to unlock the joints. Okay. So he puts us through these different things here. Then he has us doing these exercises to strengthen the muscles so that we can do it, okay, so to speak. And then there's the training of actually putting all these, you can do it. You've unlocked the joint. And now you got to actually do it. You got to train yourself. And I was driving down the road, and saying, okay, I'm sitting here straight with shoulders back and everything, and I realized you have to get the right tone to your stomach muscles, the right tone to your back, so you can hold the correct posture without feeling, shall we say, stressed. Is that the correct word? I've got my muscles in a little bit of shape here, but it takes some concentration. So again, there's sort of 3 steps to that process. Just unlocking it. We're building the strength, and then finally going through the process of putting it together, where there still is some training of putting it together to make it work, where it's still a conscious effort. So remember, 4 weeks. Don't be getting so hurried here to do stuff. You've been talking for a long time and reading. Talking for a real long time and reading almost as long. So we got to first break that connection, unlock that connection between the written word and the verbal process. We then have to initiate and strengthen the process of the connection between seeing and understanding. And then as we put this all together, there's going to be sort of that putting it all together process as well. Now, it's all going to happen. Now, one of the things we got to remember about training is we always have to make training something exciting that you want to come back and do. It's like Disneyland. So make sure that as we go through this, we're real conditioned that training is hard and forced and things like that, but you got to sort of get excited about the ride a little bit. So remember, kids play with putting things together, play with these things a little bit, and then they rest. They don't get all worried about it. Okay, so play with it, rest, but keep moving forward. Okay, kids keep wanting to be they wake up and they play a little bit, be an adult, then I'm gonna play with my toys. Nobody kidding. So as we go through this process here, play with them, push for them, then rest, play with them, push them, rest, etc., etc. So don't worry, do the best you can. Again, the idea is that you do. These little 60-second clips. There's 6 of them, so that's 6 minutes, right? Okay, and if you then increase the speed, then it goes to 3 minutes, or even if you slow it down, maybe it goes to 12 minutes, or I don't know, in some combination, maybe about 20 minutes total if you do it twice. So the idea is to do it about twice in the morning and twice in the evening. So that's the process here. Today we want to make sure we get started here with the first one for today, and that's singular and plural again. Now remember, what we're trying to do here is get to the end, to see the end. So we're going to, when we did just looking at words, we also alphabetize them, but we're going to look at these words as either as singular or plural to start with. Okay, and again, you're going to quickly go put them in see either one or many. Okay, so let's just take a look at one here to start with. So we look at this one and we see how many. Now how many? Now how many? How many? How many? How? I mean, you just want to flash in front of yourself, okay? So again, and again, just don't say it. It's all silent. It's all silent. You just see, and then you see, and then you see, and then you see, and then you see. All right, and yeah, the whole point is just have fun with it. All right, all right, there. Well, how many? How many? Okay, see that the key. Just have fun with it and enjoy. And anyway, Vibe Coding University, training humans to train themselves. Alrighty. Vibe Coding University, training humans to train themselves. And today we're going to be doing the second, this day 4, but the second flip book of this series, and we're going to be talking about the general group of things. In other words, we tend to, there's, if we think of dog represents, well, lots and lots and lots and lots of dogs, right? Okay, but we can use either one dog to represent that whole group, or we can use a lot of them to use it. But we have this sort of general picture of what a dog is. Now, with verbal reading, we use the sound to hold the place. So if we're not going to have this sound, what are we going to use? Well, what you're going to do is sort of create a picture of a generalized or generic dog, right? Okay, so what does one look like? Well, you just create what it is. It might be fuzzy or whatever, or short, or it might be something dog you're familiar with and stuff. Doesn't really matter, okay? But create it, and that holds a place. Just realize, when we're talking about a group, that's just holding the place of all dogs, okay? So let's just do it here real quickly here. So remember, and again, as you see it, you silently think, oh, that represents a whole big bag. So you might see this, and there it represents a whole big bag, and whoops, this is the wrong side. There we go. Now we have a bunch of them representing the whole side. Okay, all right, so now, and then we come here and we look at this, and oh, just one, but a whole bag. Okay, or okay, and we're just talking about some of them. Okay, all right, so then again and again, here this is a whole bag. Oh, there's a lot of them represented now. Oh, there's just one. Okay, and oh, there's oops, can I get that whole in there? So whoa. All right, so just one or two representing the whole bag, and that's all you want to do. Are you saying one representing this whole group, or a bunch representing the whole group? It doesn't really matter. Okay, but anyway, do it. Just have fun doing it. Vibe Coding University, training humans to train themselves. Vibe Coding University, training humans to train themselves. This is the next flip book, and we're going to be adding an adjective to the general groups. And basically what that does is sort of takes that group and makes a subgroup in it. And we're going to be using just 4 adjectives. We're going to be using this. We're going to be using this. Okay, so this, right? And then we're going to be using this and this. So 4 of them, okay? Just those, okay? Now, notice hopefully those popped in and you just knew what they were. That was great, okay? Now, remember, as we verbally do, we sort of go in sequence. We get this, then you do this, but we're going to start putting it all together all at once. All right. So we might we'll start out with this one right here. Okay, and we can sort of go, okay, we see the different thing, and but we want to do is get to the final picture and just get to a picture of that. Okay, so we just look and we go to the final picture. Okay, we just look and we go to the final picture. Okay, uh, okay, we just look and go to the final picture. We just look and go to the final picture. Now, again, you may need to go through the process to start with, so that's fine. It's just silently do it, right? See whatever it is. Need to identify the object. Need to identify how many there are. Need to divide this general group or specific. We'll be talking with the specifics in just a second. This is generals, but just go through the process. Do it one at a time to start with, then go back and look at it again and see it all at once, and then look at it again. See, it's all one code, and it means over there, and that's what's going on. Okay, all at once. Okay, and we're going to put together bigger and bigger groups of these all at once, and you'll be surprised how many and how fast your subconscious can put them together for you, and it'll just throw them in front of your eyes. You won't even have to think. Now, consciously, now you're putting in effort, so it might wear you out a little bit, but you can do it, right? You can do it. But again, get excited because you want your subconscious to get jealous and get excited about doing them for you, right? Okay, so, Vicoding University, training humans to train themselves. By Coding University, training humans to train themselves. Isn't this great? Codes getting you right directly to things. Okay, so we're going to get to the specifics. Now we're talking about specific ones, right? And we first use words like, all right, that's right here close, but only one, right? Okay. Then we use, oh, that's one again, but it's over there, far away from us. So, right? Okay. And then we use, okay, that's a lot of them right here, right? You can get a lot of them right here. Okay, right? And then we got far away from us, a bunch of them, right? Okay, and then we use the last one, which is, oh, that's one we've talked about or heard about in a book or anyway some referenced item that we've already got. So it's like, okay, got it. So we're going to quickly go. Now we're going to be combining these, right? So we got to get these so that it just goes. We just see the word and we know exactly, it's that far away, it's close, it's many, it's not many, it's a reference, what is it? Okay, and it's just got to, the trigger's got to be there. We got to see it, just see it. Okay, getting to that end thing. Okay, by Coding University training. Oh, now we're going to do it with words too. So you're going to, see one of these words attached to a word, and it's going to be either singular, plural, and you want to see that object over there or close to you, many or one, and if it's a reference, that object has a reference, and since it's a reference thing. Okay, by Coding University, this is specifics now. By Coding University, training humans to train themselves. By Coding University, training humans to train themselves. So remember, if you need to slow down, go to the settings and slow down the video so you can have time to mentally go through the thinking process, because we're going to do now specifics. We're going to have an adjective and the object itself. So there's three things. There's the object. Okay, is it far away or is it nearby, and is it fast? Now we're using fast, slow, old, or new, right? So just far adjectives, but you got to get work on it. This one, so that. There's three things, but we want to be able to get to that picture all at once, right? So remember, you may need to slow it down. So go to the settings in tab and go to playback speed and adjust the setting to an appropriate speed, so that works for you. And then after you get it so it works for you and you start to see it, then try to make it faster and see it all at once and get to the final picture. The goal is to see the code and get to the final picture. And at some point, your brain will be so fast, it'll just get to the final picture. You'll hardly even recognize that you saw the code. You'll just get to the final picture and be moving on, and that's what it'll look like. But this takes a training. So remember, we're taking 4 weeks here to get to this. So let's look at just a couple of them here to start with. Okay, so let's look at here. So there it is, right? Okay, so that one's that, right? Okay, right, and then we might see. Okay, it's just a little different, right? Right. First we saw this, oops, and then we saw that. Okay, all right, but they're both far away, right? Oh boy, yeah, they're both far away, right? Okay, and then we might see, oh, now this one's right in front of us. Okay, right, and then there's lots of them. Whoops, excuse me, got my fingers in the way there, don't I? Okay, but they're nearby. Okay, or. Do we get it? Oh, we got to go back here. There it is. There we go. All right, those are far away. So the key is you look at it and you quickly get to the final picture. And as you get more and more familiar with what these are, you're going to get there faster and faster. At some point, your brain is just going to give you the final picture, and you will hardly even see the codes. Okay. By Coding University, training humans to train themselves. Okay. Have a good one. By Coding University, training humans to train themselves. We're doing both general and specific. So sometime today in this section, you're going to be using the general categories, or you're going to be looking at a specific thing, and both of them with adjectives. So the general category, a specific subset of it with those characteristics, or a specific one with those characteristics. Let's look at a couple here. Okay, so decide general or specific, and then now remember, you might have to go through the process of one by one, then finally putting it together, and then going back and looking at it at a single object. So we look at the first one there, right? And then we look at that one there, and we decide whether it's general or specific. And then we look at this one, and then we look at this one, and we got these different things that we look at. So we look at them, we know what they are, okay? And we get the idea of whether it's general or specific. I can't even get them in that thing. Okay. By Coding University, have fun with this, training humans to train themselves.